Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about myself, which is in a condition where I face that this company serviced me or offered me a service that could make people forget my existence, ladies and gentlemen. So it will make people forget about not only my existence, but also that they will have no idea that I was there in their life to begin with, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about a service which is flawless and with a 100% success rate. We are not going to talk about how it is going to get failed later in the future, or how there's a possibility of failing in the service, ladies and gentlemen. So also, because I am talking as myself, doesn't necessarily mean that I will advocate other individuals to also do the same as what I do, ladies and gentlemen. What I do is I'm not going to influence other people because this is merely my own decisions, and we believe that a person like me have this right to decide what is best for me, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, let's see what is average persons that I characterize here. So what I think average person is that people or persons with less to no influence for majority of society. It is ordinary person like me who only give influence or only live, impressions for people around me, like my family and close friends, ladies and gentlemen. So we believe that it is not going to harm many people. Because why? Because not many people get influenced by us, for example. Not many people have impressions of me, for example, ladies and gentlemen. Let's say, why do we think that I, as an average person or another person here, should have the right to choose this service? Because first, we believe that the existence of the service itself means that we should not talking about the legal issues of the service, ladies and gentlemen. It should not be our concerns. Because why? Because the existence of the service means that the government itself approved this kind of service, ladies and gentlemen. So we should not talk more about how the legal is becoming a concern of this kind of situation. Ladies and gentlemen, no. Why I think that as an average person, I should have the right to choose to use these services, ladies and gentlemen. First, because I am an average person, yes. Unlike those country leaders, for example, I didn't left a long-lasting impression that could change the surrounding too much, ladies and gentlemen. I would not change the environment too much, ladies and gentlemen, because again, I am an ordinary person. Unlike those people, the public figures who could probably change a lot when they passed away and when people actually forget about them, I am just an ordinary person who only leave a little impressions to people, ladies and gentlemen. I only leave much impressions to my family and my friends, for example. Ladies and gentlemen, there are two scenarios that I would like to bring here. First is that, what if I, as an average person, is being loved by family and friends, for example. Now, we think that I should still have the right to use this service, because we believe that even though that people are going to mourn over our death, for example, it's going to hurt for them, and I know that they love me, so it's normal for me to love them back, ladies and gentlemen. And the way I love them back is, I would like to show my love is by letting them forget about my existence, ladies and gentlemen, because I don't want them to feel the pain. I don't want them to suffer, ladies and gentlemen. Now, even though the other side of the house might bring that they will not mourn forever, they will recover, they will rise, but ladies and gentlemen, we cannot expect people to recover in a quick time, ladies and gentlemen. People are different. They can recover quick. They can recover not quick, ladies and gentlemen. So when they say they are not more forever, we have to agree with that. But ladies and gentlemen, in a short period of time, they might do things irrational, for example, or they might get hurt that much that they will do something outside of a dinner, ladies and gentlemen. And this is going to talk much later in my second speaker. But ladies and gentlemen, we believe it is okay because of why? Because we believe that it is the early stages of losing someone that hurts a lot, ladies and gentlemen. Also, I wouldn't be able, if I am in the position, I wouldn't be able to stand the sadness and sorrow of losing the one that I love, ladies and gentlemen. So it is normal for me to actually wanting the best for them. It is normal for me to want them to, even though they are going to forget me, at least at least ladies and gentlemen, they are not going to suffer. We are not talking about how that people suffering in a long time or in a short period of time, they still suffer, ladies and gentlemen, and there are many things that can happen in that short period of time. Ladies and gentlemen, second scenario is, what if I, as an average person, most times ignored by society, for example, or my life wasn't that great, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have friends, my family ignore me, for example, so I'm such a failure, for example. So I think it is okay for me and it's normal for me to choose this, to use this service. Because of why? Because I didn't leave much impression to begin with, ladies and gentlemen. So when those people who probably know me but not know me that much are going to lose all memories about me, I think it's still okay because it's not going to harm them at all, ladies and gentlemen. It harms nobody. It harms nobody. It should be a consideration of why it's okay for me to choose to use this service, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, so with those both scenarios, we believe that whether or not you are being loved, whether or not you are being rejected by the society, you believe as an individual, the right to choose this kind of service should be depends on me as an average person, and also being the one who think that the best for people around me is by forgetting myself when I passed away, for example, ladies and gentlemen. And for those reasons, our government proposed.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's touch the deep philosophical talks about this debate. We're talking about an average person, an okay person, a Rick and Morty, a Jerry in a Rick and Morty universe, a Patrick in a SpongeBob universe. These kind of things that we say are okay. We're an okay person, but even if we're an okay person, we still live an okay thing into the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's touch what the opposition, the government side of the house, has brought to us. They have said that they want to spare the sadness. They say that sadness and this harrowing is so detrimental and is so exclusive into their side, and is so harmful from the society and for the people, for the family, all of them, right? But ladies and gentlemen, we say that when they do this, it's so evil because we're sacrificing the only thing that makes us human, which is this universal and communal sadness. That life is actually just pure sadness, that we should cope into each other's life, right? That life isn't forever, and loss is a part of life, ladies and gentlemen. It teaches us that life isn't forever, that we must to be this good person, right? That we must to pursue to have a better mark into the world. When you uphold this philosophy where you should just cut all the losses of the family or even on you, we say you also cut the losses or the contribution, that you shouldn't learn about the mistakes of the past, that you shouldn't learn the mistakes of your family. This is the very detrimental thing about loss, ladies and gentlemen, because it teaches you but you are not forever, and you cannot live here forever. That is why you must use your time even if you are an average person, ladies and gentlemen. This is very dangerous from team government. Secondly, they talk about that even so that we are ignored by the society. We say it is okay. We shouldn't make this as an excuse. That even so we're ignored by the society, it shouldn't make us an individualistic person. It should still make us as a person that will still contribute, even so in the average level of average, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let's talk about my side. Why do we believe that we shouldn't eliminate the physical and digital evidence? That we say that this is also not the right of us. Even so, it is so ignorant of us to decide upon the right of our family, to forget about us, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, clarifications about when you do this, it's actually you decide upon or without the people consent, right? Because you say you don't want them to be sad. Just okay, exactly, because you don't want them to be sad. You cannot achieve through no sadness when you don't delete it from them, right? Because this is not their consent. Well, like even if, how about when they didn't want to forget about you? What if that you are a person that is really, really important to you, even so you're an average person, even so that you believe that you are an average person? This is very detrimental, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we believe that this average person didn't leave a mark in the world. Like He is not a Freddie Mercury that goes into TV shows, right? Into the music as we hear in our earphones. But we see that there are a person who's still trying and trying and trying. How matter what? Like this is the moment where you cannot forget about this person. Like even if they still have little contribution, like average contribution, it still matter. For example, if you're a mailman in your neighborhood, for example, you still have this contribution about giving people smiles into their works, right? Into their mornings, for example. This is the daily to day-to-day basis. It is actually matter. Like, even so, you're an average person, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, secondly, why do we believe that also, even so you're an average person, what is inherently everyone, you as a human want to be remembered. The only thing that we left in, because we are mortal, the only thing that we can left into our world after that is memories, ladies and gentlemen, about our teachings, right? About the things that are great memories and bad memories, that nevertheless it's still the same, ladies and gentlemen. Like, okay, maybe this okay person is an okay debater, or even it's like he's a really nice guy, but he's also an alcoholic. Like, but it is okay, right? Because it give people great memories upon him, upon her. Like, this is the basis of you teaching yourself. Like, oh, this is an okay person that could do okay things. This is the moment where I can have inspiration. Like, even if they are an okay person, and I could be better than him upon his death, or even that I could continue his legacy. Like, remember the death of Stanley, for example, right? People, when we remember them, we can continue this, ladies and gentlemen, as a legacy to continue great things. Like, even if Steve Jobs died, when we still remember him, even so we mourn, ladies and gentlemen, even so it's so hard, we can still continue the legacy that we still wanted, right? Because we say this is very good in a very instance, ladies and gentlemen. Like, when we sign up for the company services, this is also inherently didn't justify for the people who actually didn't want to forget about you. We see that this is inherently unfair because this is their right to be mad, to be mad and to be sad about you. Okay, let's talk about also, like, there are also bad memories about you, right? Like, you're an average person, you produce good memories and also bad memories into people's life. We say that even if that you give bad memories, we say this is a lesson that needed to be learned. Like, this is a lesson that it shouldn't be done. For example, if you contribute to genocide in the very worst case, that this is the moment where we shouldn't forget about them, right? We should make them a lesson, that we shouldn't do this for an example. Like, even if that we are an average person, we still have to do this, because when we forget, when we inherently delete ourselves into our world, we're inherently also deleting the very instance of being a human. Is that we are just plainly dust of memories into the people's world, like into the world also. Like, it is okay to be equally good and equally bad, that we are an okay person, because that even if that we are average people with average contribution, it is okay, because everyone, even though they're average, they still have contribution that needed to be catered into the world, that needed to be considered by people, that people also need to be thankful for. That is why in team opposition, we are very proud to oppose.
Who actually I should have full control of what is my decisions and on how the people would treat me after I passed away. But first of all, several responses toward our side of the book, when they state that this proposal is out of approval from people around me. Yes, but it's still for me, for me, it is still okay, because remind me is not the only way to respect you to begin with, because I believe that respecting me also happening when you treat me when you treat me better in the whole of my life, which is it's more influences to me, to incentivize me to be more to treat people, other people to be better, and this kind of things remind me or remind about the memories about me is not the only way to respect me, and moreover in life it would incentivize the other to treat me better, because it's the only chance for them to interact with me, it means that I would treat them bad and good, and I would treat the other people better, ladies and gentlemen. And also, They try to pursue to us about on how these memories has become a lesson to another people. But actually, people also can learn from prison life. Why I said that? Because actually, the taking examples from the prison life is actually also going to be an alternative way to gain information or to gain lessons. But past experience is not only the only way to get lessons. And also the main reasons on how I stayed as an average person, actually without talking about how good I was and how bad I was. It's more likely thinking about on how one should concern with their own interest. In here, there are three basically in order to attain the personal preference. First is about the reasons, on how my reasons, on how I use my rationality on deciding or to sign up the company services. That here, the things that I already passed away, remind me would never bring me back, and that's the most rational that I can assume, ladies and gentlemen. Because here, what actually let me portray on how the suicide happens, on how the suicide actually exists in a status quo when they by sign up or this company services means that it's going to eliminate the emotional decisions that mostly appear in an average person, in an average people, ladies and gentlemen. Because yes, let's remember that the reasons on how the people suicide because they want it's an option for them to gain attention because they are treated bad in his life. So when we apply this kind of thing, it's going to be eradicate the number of the emotional decisions when they actually think more on how they will do such kind of thing, because it's only spending whole life with the best decisions, with the best comparisons is the only way for the other to credit them to begin with, ladies and gentlemen. And also, the second of all is about the purpose. The purpose on how if I was a good guy, at least it's going to reduce the sorrow, the condolence of the people around me. And if I was, in the other hand, if I was a bad guy, at least they are not going to give a suffer of me after I pass away. Why I said that? Because when we talking about the people who already passed away, it also give a burden toward them, and that's the things that I do believe, and that's why I really I decided to sign up this company services. And also the third is about the self-esteem or the pride. What I say is by signing up this company services means that it will force me, it will establish my own self-pride, because the philosophy of dealing of that is on how you can rest in peace. But when the other people still judging me after part of my life, only still remind me remember about my sins that I have done before, it's going to reduce the number of dignity. It will hampering my pride and my self-esteem to begin with, ladies and gentlemen. And that's the main reason on how we want to gain our personal interest. We want to gain our personal self-esteem, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, because the other reasons on how we are going to sign up the company services, because it's going to incentivize the other people. Yes, I will try to think on the other perspective, which is I would like to think about the the people in generally, where it's going to incentivize the other people to do good too. Because actually, because the only way to predict me, the only way to judge people on how bad they are, on how good they are, is only to use their on how I could behave and treat the other. There will be no more argue. There will be no more argue and classes about me after passes away, because the arguments the judgment after passes away is not influence enough for me to begin with. So it's going to incentivize the other people to do more, to behave more better in the real life. That's why we propose.
We believe that the whole premise about the opposition, the opening government is about sadness. We believe, as Torek have already told you before, the inherent characteristic of humans are sadness. Sadness will always happen, but in time, sadness will be cured. How it will be cured? Maybe in the very first place, everyone will always remember you. Everyone will always cry about you. But don't you? In time, they will make it as a lesson for it. They will thank and be grateful how in the past it can become the motivation of death. So, before I jump to my arguments, let me give some rebuttals towards the opening government. So, we believe that their argument about in the present life is an alternative way to get a lesson. It's not an exclusive argument, because in our side it also happened, and even better, in our side, for example, we can see Picasso. When he died, everyone knows him. Everyone directly knows him. But when he's alive, not everyone knows him. And that's why we believe that it's not an exclusive in their sides. And also, we also believe that, yes, it's true about rest and peace, and we just want everyone to feel better. Even for me, if I die in later, I want to be rest in peace, and I don't want to live all the sadness. But ladies and gentlemen, in time it will be cured. No. So jumping to my first, and the last, that they always talking about that we are treating people's bad, so that's why we don't want to be remembered. But ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, we're an average people, where it's not only the bad things that stay, but also the good things that maybe every morning in my neighborhoods we smile to them, we help them, and we believe that because of that reason, we believe we don't have to delete them from our memories. So jump to my arguments. Like first arguments in how if everyone wants to delete their memories. Imagine if every average person feel they're not important. Every average person feel that because they're not enough in contributing for the society, they have to be erased. Then what will happen? They will know history. And why we believe history is important? Because as Torek have already said before to you, history there for educate us, for us to learn on how life is that tough, on how we have to make it motivation, on how maybe from that lesson we can be a better person. And even this will impact for your family. Why? Because maybe this can be the start for your kids to think that because my father used to be an average person, I don't want to be like my father or my mother. I want to be someone. I want to be someone that everyone can remember me. Everyone can remember, and from there, of course, it will help. It will help to increase the better life of your family. So that even if you're an average person, you're still valuable to all the people that knows you, to all the people that maybe wants to remember you. Because we believe that if you are trying to erase their memories without their concern about that, it will be so evil for you to just thinking about yourself, to think that maybe, and to decide that if you're not important for them. Because even if your family think that you're an average person, you never contribute to the society, they still love you no matter what happened, and they also want to remember you no matter how hard it is. They still want to remember you.
If you love them, alleviate them of your faith. I think that all three are still stuck in the sense that they cannot come to a consensus whether or not this individual has impact to their life. We're going to concede to this individual do have an impact towards every single individual life or their loved one's life. But we're going to tell you that this impact, as soon as you die, as soon as that memory change, as soon as that happy memory that stays within you, as soon as you die, it turns into sorrow and sadness. Two things that Rizqi is going to bring you to it. Firstly, in terms of the alleviation of pain. Secondly, in terms of self-betterment. The idea of liberty and also living your life as best as you want. Before that, let's move on to the first rebuttal. We said that being remembered by in itself is arbitrary. Two reasons why. Firstly, it caused by an evil intention for you to be selfish to gain fame and glory, but it maintains other people's fame when they remember you. But secondly, notice that when you're already dead, it doesn't even translate into anything. That when you die, that fame that you have turns to dust. It doesn't bring any tangible impact to you as an individual, ladies and gentlemen. We say that it is arbitrary because it is not tangible in and of itself. You're already dead. Just move on, ladies and gentlemen. But lastly, when Rizqi talks about the idea of happiness of you, that is individual with happiness, going to tell you how it turns into sadness and such. Now, let's talk about the alleviation of pain. But before that, let's talk about why are you morally obliged to alleviate another individual pain in of itself. Two reasons. Firstly, what you need to understand as an average individual, other contributions are allowed to you. That is the laughter that your wife has given to you, that is the money that you owe from your mother, etc. We said that this average individual, you do owe them a lot and you need to alleviate their pain. But notice that when you're an average person, all that you have is this individual, all that you have is your wife. So everything that you do to them is in order for you to alleviate their pain. The reason why you need to feed your children is to alleviate them from the pain of hunger, is to alleviate them from the pain and such. Lastly, now, let's talk about the alleviation of pain and stuff. We said that your memory, even if it is happiness or such, when you die, it brings other pain. Why? Two reasons. Simply because the reason why is that the pain and the process of you dying. Notice that the memory of the process of your legs getting chapped because of you getting cancer, or the quick sudden death that you finally have, which you cannot cope as a family, that your husband has already been dead. That pain of process of you getting weaker, getting cancer, is painful to them, ladies and gentlemen, as an individual. But secondly, the abundance and the incapability to connect with you. The reason why you keep pictures of your loved one, the reason why you still make breakfast for you, even if you live alone and you already love you, is because you stay or you cannot cope with that particular sadness. It is an extension of you and lingering of you. They cannot move on from a situation of sadness and sorrow. They wish for you to be there. They adore your presence. But guess what? You cannot give them that presence. You are dead, ladies and you can never give them something as good as the memory of you. That incapability to control presence, to give them happiness that you cannot do, brings them pain in ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. We say that extension needs to be elevated and needs to be gone and just be why? Because they are constantly reminded that I cannot connect with my life, that he is gone, that this happy memory cannot be accessed anymore in such, right? How does? Notice that all of that pain stays or stems from the memory of you, ladies and gentlemen. The root of that pain is the memory of you as an individual, right? But even if that opposition tries to bring the idea of you are able to be cured, notice that the struggle of you trying to be cured or trying to move on is also painful, ladies and gentlemen. Why? Because you feel as if you betray them. You feel as if you're forgetting them as an individual who is important to your life, ladies and gentlemen. That kills them, takes them out of their soul. How is this going to be better under our side? We're going to alleviate their pain. We're going to say that there's going to be no struggle for you, that you shouldn't remember me, that you should move on, find another love, for example, or find other people who could actually bring this happiness to you, ladies and gentlemen. But notice also that these pains prevents them from doing something or being productive at the end of the day. We say that when you truly care about them, you want them to move on and you want them to do something better. But guess what? That grief, that sadness is what prevents them from doing more in life, from finding love that they could actually have better later on in the future. We say as an individual who is an average individual who only have his wife, who only have his children, and etc., we say that you need to do this in order to alleviate them of their pain. They deserve to not feel sorrow. They deserve to forget you because you cannot do anything to alleviate that pain. But lastly, in terms of self-improvements, notice that the only thing that prevents you from making decisions that you want or making decisions that is actually tangible in your life is through fear. How does fear contribute to this, and how does fear comes from this particular memory? We say that fears also from two reasons. Firstly, from social status and remembered as a successful person. We say that when OG says that you need to be remembered as a successful person, etc., that is something that's something that's particularly bad. Why? Because it pressures you to make decisions, or to make decision that is safe, for example, or to create decision that is not good at, or to pursue something that you cannot actually achieve in life, or to only follow the sayings of your mother and etc. Right? We say that this social status is social construct anyway, and differs from regions and no looking at their background and etc. We say that we need to alleviate them of their fear, of that fear of their having social status and etc. But also you don't love other people because you fear of hurting them, because you fear that through your short life, perhaps when you go, you will hurt them and etc. How will this be better under our side? Under our side, you will live your life to its fullest. You will not be afraid to love, because when you die, you will feel no pain at all. You will not be afraid to make decisions, because you've been living a life for yourself, not living for others' view and perspective, because other view and perspective doesn't matter anyway when all of that memory is gone. You don't care what they remember you as when you die, because they will not remember you. All of the shameness, all the guilt that you've done, you're also going to be gone. But notice when we're talking about shameness, guilt, pain, mistake, and etc., we will also give them closure, right? Because no longer that you feel the fear of how would your life continue living in sadness, for example, when you leave them, or how would your children feel after you leave them, right? Or how your parents mad at you for not making that particular decision. We said that when you know that this individual will forget, move on, and not have any pain at all during this particular process, it will give you closure upon your death. It will give you the idea that at least when I die, I do not bring any repercussion or any pain towards others after I die, ladies and gentlemen. What has CG brought to you? CG has already brought to you the idea of liberty and also self-betterment for you, that you continuously find someone to love, or you will not be afraid to do anything anymore in your life. But we will also say that you are morally responsible to this individual that you love. You do not deserve to have this pain and sorrow. Very proud to propose.
Mr. and Madam Chair, in opening debate, especially in opening oppositions, they mere saying that we can't delete the memory of these people because it is not their consent, but not necessarily explain why consent is important and necessarily needed, why it is harmful not only in your side but also harmful to other people, because it is about the ownerships of the memories, which will be made in substantive speech, and then will be more important substantive. But before that, let us engage through a whole point of the government and the House from the latest people. They say that make people around us to be remembered that will bring so much pain. First, they need to question why exactly erasing the memories of your life, because they will more, yes we know, will be much more beneficial and valuable than whole memories you shared with them, ladies and gentlemen. Because in our side, we thought that the lesson you taught, the advice you share that life, the matter. For example, if you are a debate coach, you coach to your student is much more matter and valuable compared to the reason why you wanna erase this, because we think this is so evil, and we think that the lesson you share, the material and argumentation that you give to the people around you will be also transferred to other people, and we think this is way more valuable than the stuff that you're concerned about, ladies and gentlemen. And we think this element will harmful for decisions because it might someone else also. They signing up for this company, meaning you as an average person, you are so egoistic. Sorry. We may stop the progress of what we have in a current life. For example, current example or the closest example, you are a debate coach and you sign up for this company and you wanna erase or eliminate memories to others' memories, meaning that the knowledge that you have shared will be deleted, and the probability that to be shared and transferred to other people to be beneficial will also eliminated. We don't think that the way of which is way more important is in their side, ladies and gentlemen. And the second point is, we think in their side, people will really hard to moving on. My first point, yes, we perceive that people will really hard to moving on, but we don't think that you can't keep continuing your life, but still remember the good virtue of the people that we already live, that are people that you live, ladies and gentlemen. We think by mourning and to be sad by our living or people that left us is we sincere and we concede that it's God's decisions to taking him away. That's our very best way to love the people that already leave us, ladies and gentlemen. And let's proceed to my substantive speech. We think, ladies and gentlemen, the ownership of the memories is not only yours. As an average person, we cannot be very individualistic and egoistic. We have to concern about others. We have to concern about the advice we already shared, the memories we already give, the jokes we already throw among all the people surround us, ladies and gentlemen. We concede it might several people just think that our memory is better erased and eliminated from others' memory. We think, ladies and gentlemen, we also limit others, meaning that we also distract or ruin others' memories. For example, I playing ball with someone, and with me signing up with this company will erase me, and these individuals will have only the memory they playing alone. This will give different message and really way more painful memories comparing to when you, for example, keep all the memories going on, ladies and gentlemen. We don't think that this is principally right. We think that this is really harmful because it is, if it's your right to be forgotten, if you say it is your right to eliminate, we don't think that all right is really absolute when it comes to others people also right, when it comes to others people's concern, because many people involve not only you in the memories but also other people's. Moreover, ladies and gentlemen, when you live in this world, every single people that are already together with you have a different angle of perspective of how people remember you. In their set, they say that we could not moving on because you are going to be sad, you are going to keep mourning and anything so on and so forth, and feeling the painful. For several people that we might say that this is how you're trying to love the people you live, for example, by being sincere, that accept the decisions of God, that it is better this way, ladies and gentlemen. We don't think that this is right under the government salary house. And also, second point, why as an average person is it in our interest to be remembered, and what is it matter to us and also matter to people around us to remember us, ladies and gentlemen. We think it will be beneficial for us because it is regardless big or small contribution we already gave to people, we already advices we give, oftentimes, and all of emotional investment we give to others. It is under our sacrifices we've done to people, ladies and gentlemen. In most of the cases, people who, for example, share lessons, share advices, want these lessons to be also transferred by other people. This is what we think as an average person happens, ladies and gentlemen. And also why this really matters to people around us to remember me what I've taught you before, ladies and gentlemen. From the advices that they give, from the argumentations already been shared, we think that it could be more transferable to other communities, to other organizations that could be progress, that make our society right now remember this individual, remember their family, so that more, reward going to the family, so that we don't think that this weigh more than the pain that what the opening government salary house already talked about. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. and Madam Chair, I couldn't imagine in today's debating world if Kak Odi signed up to the company like this, because I wouldn't be I am right now, and perhaps other people that he brings so much influential coach sessions standing up in HBP GF 2000, if it's not due to his legacy, the motion falls. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, under the member of opposition, we think that this debate is still in a state of stagnancy, because both of the teams consider that it's all about how these people will have an impact, and the other team say that how these people do not have any impact. As a closing of class government, we will take the bullet that even if you leave impact or you do not leave impact, it's okay for you to erase this kind of memories, ladies and gentlemen, because it's arbitrary that you are the one who have the memories. It's arbitrary that the way you want to be interpreted, the way you want people to look at you is also your own right, ladies and gentlemen. We think that it's okay for you to erase this kind of memory, ladies and gentlemen. But closing government always play in the scenario, in the past scenario, how if this kind of people will have an impact. But the question becomes, how if these kind of people do not have any kind of big impact, ladies and gentlemen. That's why closing government being very exclusive in this debate. But let's talking about the idea of contributions by the opening government. The opening government say that when you do have a contribution, your family could learn from your mistake. The question becomes, if you're an average person, meaning that you have an average contribution, meaning that you have an average attempt to try something new or try something. When you have an average attempt, meaning that the number of mistakes that you would like to have also very minimal. Meaning what they need to defend what kind of mistake and how this mistake would be very impactful as a lesson, ladies and gentlemen. Because we think that if you're an average person, your mistake is something that's very small. But more importantly, let's talking about the contributions under closing government compared to opening opposition. The contribution is going to be better under outside of the house, because the idea of you they're still being judged after you die or pass away will limit your movement, will limit your liberty to find something new, to do something new, because you're very afraid that what will happen if I die. Maybe people nowadays when I'm still living will never judge me of my actions, but what will happen if I die? People will judge me. This idea of fear being judged after you die will always scare you and will always limit your movement. But at least outside of the house, you will have more freedom to try everything new. You have more freedom to actually reach your maximum happiness and maximum value, because we believe that the value of life of every single individual is very different, ladies and gentlemen. The way you judge other people, way of life, and remember it all, will actually limit your movement. What we want here as a closing government, we want you to have a liberty, because at least your life is also only about yourself, ladies and gentlemen. You need to understand this kind of thing. Your life is also for the improvement of your own self, ladies and gentlemen. That's why we think the contribution of having a self-improvement will be better under outside of the house. But before that,
don't you think that this YOLO philosophy of yours is so dangerous to other people because you only think about yourself and your own happiness?
Ladies and gentlemen, thinking about your own self doesn't mean that you're being very selfish, ladies and gentlemen. The way for you to reach happiness by your own way, or the way you want to contribute to society by your own way, is something that's very important. Because what is the problematic thing? Because when you try to help society, but you are being very scared that you will be scrutinized, your way will be scrutinized, ladies and gentlemen. I think this is the thing that we want to pursue. But more importantly, let's talk about the memories that have been glorified by the opposition side of the house. The opening government just say that there will be a judgment without never necessarily explain to you why this judgment could happen. That's why I'm here to fill the gap why judgment will happen after you pass away. We
We think that memory is something that's very abstract, it's very subjective, it's even a construct, ladies and gentlemen. The way each person the way person interpret a memory and interpret your life is going to be different, ladies and gentlemen. For example, I think that my life is so beautiful and my memories that I will have is something that's very good. But it doesn't necessarily mean other people will also think the same way, ladies and gentlemen. Meaning what? When there's a multi-interpretation about your existence, meaning that there are multi-interpretation of judging. For example, if I am a gay person, but for the certain, I think that I already fulfill my life, fulfill the value of myself, but at the end of the day, other people disagree with that, ladies and gentlemen. What will happen? The judgment will be there, ladies and gentlemen. But moreover, what makes it different? Things that make it different, when you're still alive, at least you will have an attempt to change their perspective. But when you already passed away, you do not have any control to change people's perspective. This is something that we don't want to happen, ladies and gentlemen. We don't want to be judged. We want to be ourselves. We want to do whatever we want to actually fulfill our happiness, ladies and gentlemen. We think that it's very evil for the opposition team that say that it's okay to people remember you without necessarily know what kind of thing that people will remember from yourself, ladies and gentlemen. But more importantly, let's engage the idea of the member of the government. They say that it's not okay because you will take away the consent of your family. Let's look, what is the parameter of you can take away the consent? First of all, this is arbitrary, like what I already told you. This is your memory. This is yourself. But second of all, why you should take the consent? First, because it's being very irrational. When you're full of sadness, when you're full of sorrow, you'll be very irrational. And second of all, you can take away their consent because it will only leave pain. Because, for example, the way you have an interaction with the people you love is you want to make them happy. You don't want them to feel any sadness. But the moment when you die and live in post memory, you will actually leave them a sadness, meaning that every attempt that you already do while you're still living is not going to be accessed. But moreover, they think that several people will actually learn from the lesson, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, as a human, you do not have any moral obligation to teach everyone about your own value, ladies and gentlemen. Life is not about trying to make everyone agree with you. Life is all about how with your value that you can make change or you can reach the maximum level or maximum happiness in your life. But more importantly, because these people is an average person, ladies and gentlemen, meaning that the lesson or the experience that they would like to give to you is something that's actually also average. Meaning that it's very easy for you to find any substitutions of this kind of lesson, right? Because this kind of people, not a really great people, ladies and gentlemen, meaning that they do not have any significant lesson or any specific lesson to you. Meaning if they're an average person, you can change it with another people that also would fulfill this average knowledge and average lesson. What will happen? As a closing government stands in the idea that we don't want people being very sorrow and being very sad, ladies and gentlemen, because it's very painful to see that for example, family passed away. The fact that people being very scared to hurt the sounds of ambulance, the fact that people are very scared to go to the hospital, ladies and gentlemen, is something that would actually limit your family as well. They cannot improve themselves, ladies and gentlemen, because life is all about self-improvement for yourself or also for your loved one. If you really truly care about your family, that you would like to, I would erase the memory because I want them to grow and improve. That's why be proud to propose. Thank you.
First, closing opposition admit that your existence is exactly impactful to the life of other people, and there is no way for closing government to question that. Secondly, we think that in closing opposition, we are the only team who take the bullet that in your life, as an average person, you must be doing good and bad things in every times in your life. But regardless what you do in your life, as an average person, you still want to be remembered, and that is what makes closing oppositions exclusive. Before going to my issues, I have an independent rebuttal to the issue of self-improvement rise in closing government. So they talk about the importance to have this complete freedom because you are no longer fear to be judged upon your death. Two responses. Number one, although this sounds very good, but it's equally possible to go in the opposite way as well, right? That instead you have the complete freedom and then doing everything in your life for the good purposes. It's also equally possible that you are being reckless, you hate people, and then you don't care upon what will people say about you. Because if you're not afraid about that social judgment, we think that the safety net upon your calculation upon every single activities and action that you do would be loose anyway. Secondly, we think that in complete freedom is still unlikely on that side of the house, even if they go to this proposal. Why? Because although you are free from the judgment upon your death, during your life you are still being judged anyway, right? So you're living people, so you will not feel that freedom. So that freedom is abstract on that side of the house. Now here goes to our issues. First, I'm going to address the practical issues in this debate, talking about the sorrow and pain about closing government proposed in comparison to the benefits of inward-looking perspective and outward-looking perspective that we provide you in closing opposition. So first of all, is sorrow and pain. They say that pain for not being able to connect is absolute upon death, and your curing and recovery is also a painful process. Number one, untrue. It's an assumption to say that sorrow and pain is always the result of people's death, because the we themselves of closing government admit that people judge your existence in different way. So not people will take the conclusion that they are going to sorrow and pain. But here's the more important thing. Memory left can be the source of happiness in another occasion after the short-term sorrow that your family's member or your closest friends is going through. Exactly because memory stays, then you can use it again and again to create more happiness. So if you want to quantify that, the short terms of sorrow is not comparable to the endless possibility of creating happiness by the existence of memory within your brain. But he imagine that the life of a father who has no one in their life but a single boy upon their life. We think this single boy is the only source of happiness of this particular father. But if this boy sign up to this kind of mechanism, then there is no longer source of happiness that can be exercised by his father. No, their base case scenario is that there would be a long-term sorrow in the sense that if you remember this person, you will realize that you are not able to connect anymore and you will not be able to interact anymore. Then it will be suddenly translated into pain and sorrow. We don't think it is true. They negligence to the process of how people move on, and they need the burden to prove why people will not be able to move on. But in comparison to that, I'm going to directly compare to the material in closing opposition. Kayu taught you about the inward-looking perspective, why it is necessary or why it is beneficial for us to be remembered. As an average person, either consciously or unconsciously, you want to be remembered. People remember who you are, what you did, and your knowledge. Your existence is not coming in a void. It's not taken for granted. Your existence coming with very much layer of sacrifice. Big or small, that's still a sacrifice. Example, my speech today is not coming in a void. Regardless my speech contribute to us or not, and regardless people see this is usable or not, I still go through many sacrifice until I create this speech. My energy, time, and emotion I have been through to create this. What does it mean? Regardless how people feel my life, what I do want as an average person is a closure before I die. I want a guarantee that if I die, regardless what I do during my life, people recognize my existence and my existence is not taken for granted. This might be not tangible, but in your life you should not be going through a pragmatic consideration every single time. You need to care about what is not pragmatic. But here's the most important thing, talking about the bad memories. Opening opposition jumping into the conclusion that bad memories would be suddenly perceived as a method or medium to be learned after the death. We're going to give you the process. We think that most instances people react different way to the bad memories of living person and the dead person. If you talk about the bad memories of that person, you see that memories, but the way you see that influenced by full of sympathy to that, and people able to finally see the other side of you because of that influence of sympathy, and that is why most instances you will see the bad memories as another thing to be learned and etc. But not just inward looking. We also taught told you an outward-looking perspective about how, upon your death, it is important to stay, provide good thing to society even after death. The concrete reason of this is that because during your life you survive because other people give a countless assistance to your existence. Imagine this simple thing. Even if you are extraordinary introvert person, you never go out from your room entire life, but you still consume oxygen. And this oxygen you inhale is because someone out there plant trees, and you enjoy it. That is the contribution of other people that you don't realize. We think because people countlessly contribute to your existence, you should not be careless and saying that I want to protect myself, I want to be free from the judgment, I need to contribute to the society. An average person, regardless of how much the contribution that you give, that is matter. So that is necessary to be extended upon your death, because probably in most instances during your life you have no opportunity to pay all it back. You don't know a person contributes to your life, but most importantly because you have other focus during your living. We think this is opportunity to extend your contribution to pay back to society. Now let's move on to the principle. We, in closing opposition, extend the principle in opening opposition. We not only talk about the importance of consent, but not necessarily explaining why consent is principally necessary. I told you about the ownership of the memory. The memory is no longer only belong to you, because you talk about interaction. You go to beach with people, etc. And it is something because people also contribute to the existence of that particular memory because they want to accompany you to go that thing. The conclusion is that your memory is not arbitrary, unlike what closing government tells you. That because you plan to that, that's because you consent to have it. Meaning that if you want to strip off that memory from other person, it should not be in arbitrary way like what they defend. But more importantly, because I also tell you that people see the memory in different angle, and you cannot directly take conclusion that if it is a bad memory, then I want to erase it. We think being people is not always about the pragmatic reason. We think we should defend our existence.